Okay. Oh my God, what just dropped? Hi. Hang on. If you can't hear me, let me know. I've got a fan blowing. Obviously, see? Haha, look. I'm like a supermodel. Maybe I should turn that off. It's hot here. And I am having trouble hearing things myself because I've been sick. If you're new here, I'm sorry for rambling. Hi, I'm Michelle from Unicorn and Centaur, and welcome to the Tuesday night live stream. On the first and third Tuesdays of every month, I do a crafting live stream. And then on the second and fourth Tuesdays, I do Tack Chat, the hangout. Oh, Redstone Stables, hi, how are you? Let's see, and I had a text from my friend. What are you doing? Oh, I have a Diet Dutch Pepper, thank you. My ears feel like I am underwater, you guys. I've been really ill this last week, which is why tonight for the live stream, this is the fifth Tuesday night, and we were going to do a tour of downtown Savannah because I'm also a tour guide and I do horse-drawn carriage tours downtown Savannah. And so I was going to have somebody sit up there with the, you know, with the thing, and we'll do the tour and everything, but I've just been too sick to arrange that. Oh my gosh, and I'm already sweating. So let me, hey, Redstone Stables. Oh, and Evie's here. Oh, thank you, like my hair, blowing in the wind. Evie, you guys let me know if you can hear me with this fan going, because if not, I may like sweat to death on the live stream tonight. Zadel's here, hello. So just let me know if you can't hear me. I will do it, we'll do it shiny and sweaty and we'll call it highlighter. I don't know, but so I've got my Diet Dutch Pepper. And tonight we're doing a different live stream. For the bonus live streams, we've done, you know, other crafting live streams. We've done, at Halloween, we did a mukbang. We did an AMA, Ask Me Anything kind of bonus live stream. But I like to try to, I don't know, do something fun for the last live stream. So tonight we're doing tarot card readings. I have my tarot deck. This is called a spiral tarot because of the spiral design on the back. If I have to keep doing this, I'm so sorry, but my ears are popping like I'm on an airplane. Evie, you have over 600 subs. I know, I'm working my way up towards that 1,000, girl. So you can hear me? Okay, good. As long as you guys are good with the fan going here, then that's fine. So, and I will move down here a little bit when and I'm going to show the cards too when we're doing this. So, draw horses for a video again. That was a fun one to do. I wonder if we should do some other crafting live stream on that. Well, okay, well, Redstone Stables, you were in the chat first. Let me explain, you guys, if you want a reading, let me know. And they're going to be really super quick because, I mean, we're only going to do this for like an hour or so. With the tarot cards, I don't necessarily feel it's like spirits or anything like that. These are, there's art on each card. And each piece of art has different symbols. There are different archetypes and symbols. And so what I do when I do tarot cards is I'll do myself a simple 3-card drawing like every day just to get an idea of what I think about during the day. Almost like a daily horoscope or a morning meditation or an affirmation or something like that. So the first card I draw is the position of the questioner. So that's me. That's where I am right now. The second card I draw is the influence. So that's sort of what's going on all around me. And then the third card is what to expect, depending on your question, if it's just a, you know, what am I doing today kind of a thing. And so then those 3 cards laid out. Again, it's not like I believe like it's not like a fortune teller, like a dark, mysterious man will enter your life today and give you a thing. It's not like that. These are mostly just daily meditations and affirmations. So that's kind of the spirit with which I'm approaching this. I don't want anyone to think like I'm going to tell you your future or, so I'm sorry if you're here for that and you're disappointed. Anyway, so if you have not had tarot cards read for you before, everyone who does them does it differently. I started like 20 years ago with a regular deck of normal playing cards. And I had a book that a friend had given me that had all these different sort of fortune telling spreads, and each card had a different meaning, and I got pretty good at reading the cards. And so I did that, and after a while I thought, I want one of those pretty tarot decks. And so I chose the Spiral Tarot deck because I really enjoy the imagery on the Spiral Tarot. And a little bit of a quick and dirty of tarot, there is a major arcana of cards, and then there's the minor arcana. The major cards are like the Hermit, the Sun, the Moon, the World. And then the minor arcana, which is like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the numbered cards. And then there are court cards, like here's the Princess of Pentacles. So each things have different meanings, and depend on how they lay out, you read the information, you look at the pretty pictures and the symbols, and then you go about your day. It's like having an affirmation, like in the morning, if you just tell yourself, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me, and you focus on that the rest of the day, then that's how your day's gonna go. Anyway, have I babbled enough about how this is totally working? Okay. Okay, you're doing a gotcha animation. The animation won't work? Uh-oh. It's really 20 years. Yeah, I've been around a little while. I've been around a little while. Zadel posted pictures in the Extra Equestrians group today about Farrier School, which it's been a while since you posted, so I appreciated that. And for asking questions, it's not like a yes or no question. Excuse me. That's that sickness. I'm going to be coughing. It's not like a yes or no question. Open-ended questions are best, such as, what's my day tomorrow going to be like? Or the animation, like if you're working on an animation project, tell me about how my animation project is going to go. What can I expect coming up next in Farrier School? Or those kinds of things, you know. If there's a situation at school, like with friends, you know, tell me how this situation with my friends is going to play out. So anyway, so I shuffle. Some people shuffle, like, you know, spread them all out and do things on the table. Some people who read cards don't want you to touch their cards at all. I don't mind when people touch my cards. Sometimes I let people pick. Sometimes I just lay it out. So we'll see whoever wants to give it a go, we can. So I'm just kind of shuffling them because I feel like that gets me in touch with them again. All right. Let me go back here. Yes. Hey, Dr. Pepper. Bow to the fairy queen. Evie, do you need a reading, my dear? Do you need to ask me a question? It can be a secret question. Now, if you guys don't want to write out your question in the chat, it can be something that you don't tell me or you don't write down in the chat. It can be something just in your heart, and you can ask a question, and I'll pull the cards and tell you what the cards say, and then you can sort of figure out what to do in your mind. No, you don't need cards today? I have my friend Christina. She's like messaging me and like, but I want to like interact in the chat. Chrissy, if you're watching, figure out how to get in the chat. I think you have to sign in, and I don't know if you have to be. I don't think you have to be subscribed to be in the chat. Oh, Fun Size Equestrian's here. Oh, that was the one who said Dr. Pepper. There you go. I'm still catching up. What's your question, Evie? 13 hands is adorable. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. If you're watching in the playback, I'm reading the chat right now. Redstone Stables and Fun Size Equestrian are talking about owning ponies. I thought Artax was a pony when I first got him because he looked so little, but he's actually 15 hands right at the withers. I stuck him. Chrissy, I see you texted me, but I can't like go back and forth. I only have like the one thing here. I can't go into the text and do it. Why won't your animation work? It has a dang horse in it. All right, Evie, hey, you know what, Evie, we're gonna ask the questions. What's up with your animation? What does Evie need to do about her animation? What does Evie need to do? Okay. Why won't Evie's animation work? Okay, we're stopping here. First card we draw is the Three of Cups. That's you right now. That's you asking the question. The second card, these are the influences. The Ace of Cups. That is what is working on you right now, and we'll talk about it in a second. And then coming up, death. This is the outcome. Now, let me tell you what these cards are telling me, child. First of all, the Three of Cups. The threes, these are three women who are enjoying a nice cup. They're dancing around. The fruits of the harvest are at their feet. Everything's good. So this is you right now. You got everything you want in your life. You're doing a little animation. You're having a little fun. And here's you doing your thing. Now, the influence is Ace of Cups. Cups are very emotional, and aces are about the beginning of something. So the influences here, see our little, there's a key here that's pictured, and the key is about opening, unlocking a new emotional journey, so to speak. So what this card tells me is that you're very emotionally connected to this project right now. And so you've got an animation project you're working on. You're feeling very emotionally attached to the outcome of it. And the outcome tells me that death is imminent. But don't freak out. Don't get sad. The death card is about facing the end of something that needs to go so that something new can begin. Does that make sense? Sometimes we can't get something new started in our life until we let go of old ideas or old thoughts or old feelings about something. So this doesn't mean physical death. This means maybe you have an expectation about your project that is unreasonable, or maybe the project is not as fun as you thought it was going to be, or something of that nature. There is a hard question that you're going to have to ask yourself before you can get this animation project done. Hold on a second. There you go. Where might Evie go? Oh, Grandiose is here. Hang on. Where might? Oh, Brittany. So anyway, that was your reading for your animation, Evie, and at the very bottom of it is the Queen of Swords. So that's at the very bottom of the deck. Sometimes I like to pick up, after I'm done with my reading, I just look at what's on the bottom of the deck, and that's what's underneath it all, what's sort of going underneath. And at the bottom of the deck for you is the Queen of Swords, and I bet you $1 million that's your mama. The Queen of Swords is a very intelligent woman, and she can help you if you let her. All right, I'm gonna put these cards back up there. All right, we're talking ponies. Grandiose is in here. Fun size equestrian and red top stables. My friend Chrissy's trying to get me on text, and I just can't. I can't. She's like the only one who wants to ask me a question is like on text instead of the chat. I'm dying here, yeah. Okay, hang on. Well, I'm angry and sad that my dang animation won't work. I need to change Christina's clothes for the talent show. Okay, that's important. Yeah. Zadel turns 31 this, 31. Oh my God, I just gave you 10 years to 9. That was me being sick. 21. Can you do a reading on this question? How will I do this year with my gaming on my pony? Yes. All right, gaming. What kind of gaming are you doing? If I can be so nosy. Hang on. Let me bring this over here. Exactly. Because that sounds fun. Like, I'm following you on Instagram, aren't I? If I'm not, y'all put your Instagram links up so I can follow people. If I'm not already. Because I love following people's pictures. Okay, I'm going to give this a little shuffle. Redstone Stables here. We're just going to shuffle these cards up just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. There you go. And I'm going to stop right here. Gaming and competitors. Hang on. Looking for a training now and halter a longer lead for my mare. Aw, Brittany. Excuse me. Gaming competitions. That's what we're working on here. So, okay, the first card I draw is you in this. And it's the 8 of Pentacles. And it's a farrier, a blacksmith, hard at work. So this is you right now, the 8 of Pentacles. And your influences, here's the Queen of Swords again. The Queen of Swords, I will go back to each one. That is the influences. And then what's coming up? Oh, the High Priestess. There you go. The High Priestess. All right, and we'll get back to this. This is interesting. Okay. So this is you. This is your question right now. This is the Eight of Pentacles. Now, the eights show payoff for hard work. Well, they're like higher up in the numbers. The lower numbers represent more trivial things, and the higher numbers tend to represent things that have been worked on for a while. So this sort of represents all the hard work that you've been putting into your horse, and you're wanting to know, like, are these all going to be worth it? Look at all this that you made. Is that going to be worth it? The influences on your gaming question is the Queen of Swords. And the court cards, there's, in this deck, it's a princess and a knight and a queen and a king in each of the different suits. And the swords are usually about mental quickness, intellect, decision-making, things, business nature. Sometimes these court cards are literal people, like either this is you, you are embodying the traits of the Queen of Swords, or there's someone like this, like a trainer or a mentor who displays these traits in your life. So if you have, maybe you have a trainer who has a really good, cool head on her shoulders and is really rational, or he, I mean, this could be a male as well. So this is the influence, is a person like this who is really good at logical, rational decisions, a person who is very honest and very loyal. And then coming up, here's what to expect from this season. And it's the High Priestess. Now, the interesting thing about the High Priestess is it's one of the major arcana cards. The major arcana cards tend to indicate fated instances, things that are meant to be. Like, it's not just what you had for breakfast. It's something that's sort of deep and meaningful to your life. So the High Priestess is card number 2, and it shows up relatively, it represents an early time in the fool's journey. Not that you're a fool or an idiot, but someone who is taking this grand journey. And she represents deep hidden insights. This is a goddess sitting on her throne in the underworld. There's Cerberus, the three-headed dog. She's got her oracle that she is sort of, you know, she's using her gifts to look into the future here. And the High Priestess, she's very magic, but not like, kind of magic. Magic that's deep, deep inside you, a deep knowing of yourself. And what this card coming up tells me is that whatever's going to happen this season with your gaming is you're going to find out a lot about yourself. And I think it's going to be a really good thing. I don't know if that, let me get back in the chat and see if any of that makes sense to you. She is amazing. Your trainer? Yeah, okay. Oh, and Joanna's here. Hey. I think you follow my training account. I can't remember. See, when people have different names, like on Facebook and on Instagram and on here, like sometimes y'all, I don't know who you are. And you'll be like, oh, you follow me on whatever, or I'm your friend on Facebook. And I'm like, of course, right. Okay. So, and then Redstone Stables, what's underneath it all? So there's your 3 cards. You've got the 8 of Pentacles, where you are right now. You've been working hard. You're ready for it to pay off. The Queen of Swords is your influence right now. The High Priestess is where we're going. We're going within to consult the deep magic this season. And I think you'll do well. But underneath it all, the sort of current that's underneath, that if you look below, you'll see, is the Princess of Pentacles. And she is a child. The Pentacles are about abundance and material things, possessions, and the princess energy is about freshness and new beginnings. So I think this being on the bottom, being underneath, is just reminding you to keep that inner child spirit alive. Like, don't let yourself get so deep, dragged down into the deep soul-searching magic that you forget why you're here, and it's to ride ponies and have fun, right? Okay. Anyway, that was that one. There we go, there we go, there we go. Who's next? Who needs to play? Narnia's deep magic, yes. Well, there is deep magic inside of us. Not necessarily like, you know, I don't know. Y'all who know me personally know that I'm like pretty atheist, actually. I don't really believe in the supernatural or gods or spirits or anything like that. When I do these cards, I like the way the images take the thoughts. And it helps people focus their ideas and their energies. That's why I like to do it. Hang on. Show. Hang on, I got a thing to show here. Atheist Squad. There you go, Joanna. Okay. Hang on, let me go back and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Try making the trailers on the reward the horse. Oh, are we talking about Brittany's horse? Excuse me. I need a lunge. Britt, you can just get a lunge whip on like Chick Saddlery. I think I got mine at chicksaddlery.com. Right, and I don't think tarot cards are going to help you with training your horse to get into the trailer. All right, Zadel wants to know how the rest of his farrier school year is going to go. Hang on, Zadel. I need to crack open a fresh Dutch trucker for that. If you are watching and you are on Facebook, go join our Facebook group, Extra Equestrians. Zadel has been posting images of his work in farrier school, which is really cool. If you don't know, in farrier school, the beginners start working on cadaver legs. So like horses that have been euthanized, they have their hooves, and then, so he's not messing up on a live horse that could get hurt if he's messing up. And that gives you a little bit more leeway. So it's pretty cool, and he's been posting the pictures of his work. So, okay, while y'all are discussing training ideas for Brittany's horse and how to get her into the trailer, I'm gonna shuffle, and we're gonna think about Zadel's education as a farrier. How is school gonna go? How are we doing this? What's happening? Okay. All right, we've got this done. We're thinking hard. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay. Here we go. I'm stopping here. This one's you. Here we go. This is you, the King of Wands. It's an awesome card to get. Okay. And the influence, Seven of Cups. That's interesting. Okay. 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 And then coming up, what's coming up? The Knight of Swords. Okay. This is a very interesting reading. I believe we were starting off here with the King of Wands. The wands are about fiery energy and creative energy. This could literally be representing the fire of the forge that you're working with. The King of Wands is a very generous person and is has a big drive and desire to make things and create things. He is a very highly motivated and ambitious and creative person. So this is you in farrier school. This is you wanting to have that in your, to be able to make things out of metal, to be able to help horses, to be able to create things in your life with this kind of warmth and generosity of spirit and creativity. So there's you. And now here is all the influences around that, though. Now the Seven of Cups, the number 7 indicates a dynamic energy, which means this is something that's changing. Your influences right now are changing. And if you look, there are the cups that are all around her, they are full, but there is a mist that is obscuring her vision. She's sad because she can't see the treasures at her feet. So this card in this position and the influences says to me that you have entered into farrier school and you may be at a point in your schooling where you're frustrated. I don't know if what you're experiencing personally, maybe you're not making as much progress as you thought you were. Maybe you're coming up on a learning curve where there are things that you're having trouble with. Maybe people are being discouraging to you, or maybe you're dealing with any kind of negativity in the process at all that makes you feel like it's just stopping you. So when you look down, you don't see the good things that you have. All you see is the fog that is obscuring your view. And what this card is telling you is that she's got an umbrella there. So she is, as long as you keep yourself, what this card says is, as long as you keep yourself sheltered from the elements, the mist will clear and you'll be able to see more clearly if you just give it a minute. This is a patience card, unfortunately. So I don't know if that makes any sense with what's going on in Farrier School, but coming up, where's it going? The Knight of Swords. And just like with the Queen of Swords, we talked about the swords are a mental energy. They can be not as passionate necessarily with feeling, but the swords are about business and, again, making good decisions. And the knight, he can be a little bit hot-headed. So he's got that sword. So what the Knight of Swords can do is sort of cut away what is unnecessary. That sword is used to cut away what you don't need and be brutal about it. The Knight of Swords is brutal about making decisions that have to be made, whether you like it or not. Does that make sense? So this could be someone that shows up in your life with these characteristics, or this could be what you have to embody in order to graduate from the program and begin your own business. So this card may be either telling you that someone, again, of this description will come in, or you have to sort of be the Knight of Swords to be willing to put aside your feelings and your generosity of spirit in order to make more business-minded decisions about how your education is going to benefit you once you finish. So the Knight of Swords might be saying, you might have to make some difficult decisions, but they're ones that are going to be good for you. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Hang on, I'm going to show Redstone Stable's Instagram. Oh, Grinius, I see your question. Hang on. Let me go back up. I just wanted to see if Zadel had anything to ask, or yeah, how's the school year? Because then we're going to look at what's on the bottom. So there you go, Zadel. You're the King of Wands. The Seven of Cups is your influence. The Knight of Swords is where you're headed. And underneath it all is the star. That is the goddess Isis, and she is pouring jewels and sacred waters. And those are lotus flowers at her feet. Those are sacred ibises. The star is all about an understanding of self. And it's a major arcana card. So this is a fate card. This being underneath it all says that you being in Farrier School is where you're meant to be. This is the step that you need to be taking on your path. You're on the right path is what this card is telling you. You're doing it right. Anyway, I hope that helps. So I'm going to put these back up. And that was Zadel. I saw a question from Grinios. Brittany was asking if there's a card that can tell you if you're going to be rich. Now, I don't know. Excuse me. Do you think if there was a way to magic myself to being rich that I would be here with a fold-up table from Big Lots and a $20 curtain from Walmart? Y'all, please give me some credit. Okay. Hang on. So yeah, I'm sorry, Brittany, if I find the rich tarot card, honey, I'm going to let you know, okay? So Joanna, this works by just asking a question. The cards you pick say something about the question. Yeah. Can I ask if I will not drop out of college? That, or if I'll actually find a career with a degree in bio. Those are kind of two different questions. I'll get to yours. I saw Grinios's first. Let me do Grinios, and then I'll do Joanna. But Joanna, let me tell you, while we're doing Grinios, think about what question you want to ask. Whether or not you're going to drop out of college is a very specific question that is kind of something that the cards can't answer. But asking about pursuing a specific path, that's something that you might be able to get some insight from. So maybe word the question, what can I expect if I continue studying biology? Or where is this path leading me? something like that. So Granios wants to know about motivation to work on publishable writing. All right. Zadel makes perfect sense, was extremely accurate. Cool, that's awesome. I'm glad. Yes, and Rebecca's here. Y'all better behave. Hit Tarot does not have a lottery card, no. All right. Honestly, can't get enough of your account. Amazing. Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Have to stay up late to put up the stars. Oh, that sounds really deep. I have to stay up late to put up the stars. That's awesome. All right, Granios. Let's do Granios really quick. Granios wants to know about things to get for fiction. We want to know about writing. We're writing some fiction. We want to write fiction that is good enough that other people are interested in reading the fiction as well. How do we develop this? How do we approach this? What's this all about? All right, hang on. All right, that was a mess. All right, so are we thinking about it? Is that what we're thinking about? And Joanna, Virtual Zookeeper, we'll get to you next. Okay, let me see. Let's see one more right here. One more. Nope, one more right here. This is you. This is you. Okay. So here we go. Here's where you are right now, the King of Pentacles. Okay. And the influence is the Ten of Cups. That's really interesting. And what's coming up? The Two of Pentacles. This is almost like this is an interesting progression. Okay. Let's start out here. This is you. This is the questioner, the King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles are a very earthy energy. So being a centaur, centaurs are very earthy. Centaurs are very pentacly. The King of Pentacles is usually someone who is financially stable he's not necessarily like filthy rich, but he understands money and numbers, and he's good with quantities. The thing about the King of Pentacles is he's extremely generous and loyal, but sometimes that curbs his creativity because he is working so hard to make sure that that everyone has enough, that everything is provided for, that he has little creative energy left over for his own passion. I don't know if that makes sense. So he is he's a father figure. He is an incredibly stable person, no pun intended. But his energy can be stagnant because he spends so much of himself in other areas to make sure that all is provided for. So if you don't have a family, that could be like your pets or your friends or other things in your life that you nurture, that you give of yourself to everything else so that you're not having things left for yourself. The influences of this is the Ten of Cups. Now, we had the Ace of Cups earlier on Evie's reading, and it showed this same goddess figure with a key and one cup going into the big spiral vase there, and that was representative of the beginning. So the Ten of Cups really represents the end of an emotional cycle. This represents the culmination or the climax of something that you have been pouring your emotions into for a long time. Oh my God, do y'all hear Loki? Loki! He's outside the window. So yes, and a black cat started meowing exactly as we talked about this. So there you go. So this is the influences right now. And I don't know how long you've been working on writing, but if we're going by what the cards are telling me, this is something you've been thinking about and working on and trying to get going for a long time. And then what's coming up? The Two of Pentacles. Now, take a good look at the Two of Pentacles. On one side, the water is choppy. On the other side, the water is calm. On one side, the flower is closed up. On the other, it's open. There is a harlequin pattern on, a black and white harlequin pattern on our jester here. One of the jester's tassels is up. The other is down. So the two, again, The 2 is about balance. The 1s are about the beginning of something. And then the 2s are about now that something has begun, we need to find a little bit of balance before we can continue to take some more steps. So the interesting thing about this is it's not a fate card. It's not a major arcana card. So what's coming up in your motivations, it's not going to be something ground shaking. Your motivation is not going to come from a bolt from above. It's not going to be written in the stars. Your motivation is going to come from figuring out basic, simple balance. Now, if you have trouble finding time to write, that may be something as simple as scheduling yourself time to write. That may be scheduling yourself time to network with people that could potentially publish your writing. It could be like if you are asking friends what their opinions are of your writing, this card may be telling you, maybe don't invest so much in people who are emotionally invested in you, but find someone who is a little bit more fair and balanced to judge your work for you so that you can figure out what's working. This card is about parsing out what works. It's about figuring out each of the beginning steps. So this future card is telling me that there may be some really basic things that you are either missing or you see them, but you don't want to see them. Does that make sense? That happens to me. I don't know if that happens to you, but it happens to me sometimes where I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not doing it. So I'm not sure if that made any sense that way, but let's look at what's underneath it all. Now, what's at the bottom of this question? What is just the thread that is moving underneath all of this? And there's the Knight of Swords again. The Knight of Swords is, this could be a publisher, this could be a friend whose brutal honesty you trust. This could be a sign that you need to just sort of think about having the Knight of Swords energy more in your life, of being able to make rational decisions without being emotionally attached to the outcome. Anyway, that's just it's nothing special. That's just the underlying card. All right, where are we? Evie, what are you eating? Hang on. All right, y'all are in here speaking Spanish, and I feel left out. I love it. Okay. Recording Servitor. Hey, remember Willow? Willow, is that you? Are you here? Yes, if that's Willow, yes, we still talk about you in the chats. Every once in a while, we're all like, hey, where'd Willow go? Yes, Recording Servitor. If that is you, we love you so much. And we miss you every time you're not here. Okay. Meow. I dare Michelle only to speak Spanish. No, I used to be able to speak German. I went to high school in Germany, and I took German for many, many years. I haven't spoken it regularly in a long time now. But Rebecca, oh, the cards may help guide me. I feel lost. Well, oh, squeaky. Editing to do. That's the kind. Yes, editing will kill your soul, and it really is all about the little details and making sure everything is balanced out properly. Ugh, editing. Recording Servitor. No. Aw. Oh, you're not? Okay, if you're not Willow, that's fine. If you know Willow, tell Willow that we miss them. Okay. I don't see, Zadel's like, Willow, wait! We have a chat. For those of you who don't know Willow, months and months ago, one of the regulars in our chats was a Willow Cipher, who was a servitor, like a deer centaur with antlers and a little deer body. And so she or he, I can't remember now, I'm sorry if I'm misgendering you, left the chat for a while, and I'm not sure where they've gone, but every once in a while we're like, oh, where's our sweet Willow? So I am going to go back. Okay. So, all right, hang on. Where we go? What question are you going to answer in your next Centaur video? Actually, I was thinking of, I don't want to get too political on my channel, but I wanted to do a Centaurs Don't Understand Politics, Human Politics, because I don't know. And again, that one would be completely like nonpartisan. I don't want to get specific or mention any kind of politicians by name, but I just felt like as a Centaur, I don't understand. So I was going to make a video about that. So we'll see if I can get a script that is not completely offensive to everybody. Redstone Stables, yeah, fill me in on the Willow background, just one of our friends. Okay, so Joanna, let's go back to you. And Joanna, you wanted to ask me your question again, if I'm missing it in the chat, Joanna, about what you're studying in school, about what path that you're trying to take here. And then maybe we can do Becca after Joanna. And Lauren's here, hello! Redstone Stables, I might not fully understand that video. I'm a child, 12 years old. Yeah, well, see, you might really vibe with a Centaur going, yeah, I don't get it either. Going, yeah, I don't get the, why are you guys doing this? So maybe it'll be something that people really resonate with. We'll see. So yes, we're all speaking Spanish, Michelle. Just use Google Translator. I am busy. I really do need to learn Spanish, though. Hang on, y'all. I think I have to like blow my nose, and I'm gonna go off camera to do it. Don't go away. Okay. I'm still here. Hang on. Okay. I got this bubonic plague from Liam. It was over, and I thought like it had all passed, because it's not like, I mean, he's 11. We don't snuggle. Like when he was a baby, anytime he got sick, I got it. But now that he's older, we're not like napping together anymore. I don't get sick every time he does. So he was over being sick, and I was like, yay, it missed me. And then the next day I woke up. It was awful. Okay. So hang on. Oh yeah, okay, yes, I am Willow. I've been feeling bad about missing out on your streams. Always 9:30 here. Oh, well, I'm sorry if they've been too late. For the record, we have totally missed you. Okay. So yeah, I would like to know what path I'll take if I continue in my studies in biology. Okay, so Joanna, we're studying biology. The study of life. I always loved biology. Excuse me, I'm burping up my Dr. Pepper. That's biology. So Joanna wants to know what's going on with her study in biology. Are we thinking about it? Are we thinking about it? Is it happening? Is it happening? Okay, maybe one or two more things. Okay, here we go. This is you. So this is you, the 10 of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. The influences, the 3 of Swords. And then here's what's coming up. The 7 of Wands. Okay. First of all, what I'm going to say is this. Here we go. Here's our 3 cards we're looking at. Here's you. Here's your influences. And here's what's coming up. These are all minor arcana cards. These are all number cards. So the first piece of information I get from this card reading is that whatever decision you're making about your biology studies, it is not the be-all, end-all of your life. You are not going to mess up your life. You're not going to ruin your life if you stop studying biology or if you keep doing biology. This tells me that you have options. Like, this is not the only thing that's going on in you that you've got going on for you. If you miss this boat, your life is over forever. That's not what this says. So in a way, I'm like, oh, because people like to see the big major arcana cards in there. It's like, it's sassy, it's fun, it's exciting. And so when you see the lower number cards, you're like, oh, but what this says is that there's still so much to come. And that this is not something that you should stress out to the point of losing your marbles. First of all, here's you. And this is the strongest card we've got. This is the Ten of Pentacles, and this is the family card, the generational card. This card is, this is you, and maybe this is you because your family expects you to continue your studies and you want to make them proud of you. This card is about intergenerational dynamics. So I don't know if you're the first person in your family to go to college, or if you're the first girl in your family to go to college or something like that, or the first person to study serious science. You may feel a responsibility to your family more than yourself for this question that you're asking. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because family, this card highlights the importance of family. Your family, that's what builds these. The Pentacles are earth. That is your foundation. And the Ten of Pentacles is a very strong family card. So this indicates a strong family influence or presence. I don't know if you have like a big close family, or if you have just like maybe one or two people in your family you're close to. It's different for everyone, but the influence here, the Three of Swords. So here is a young woman, and she is holding a rose, and she is facing these three swords, and there is a figure running away in the background. Now, who is that figure? Has he broken her heart? What is going on here? The threes come. This is like a shakeup after a period of feeling a little bit balanced. You may be feeling a little bit of disillusionment about your path. Maybe biology isn't as fun as you thought it was going to be, or, excuse me, the jobs that you thought you were going to get are turning out to be not as glamorous as they sounded at first, or the work is a lot harder than you thought it would be. Or there is something that is now missing, like maybe the reason that you started studying biology has gone away. Like, for example, when I went to one of the colleges I went to, I followed a boy. I had a boyfriend who was going to this college. So I went to the college because the boy was going there, and we ended up breaking up. So I don't know if you have like a friend who's gone to school with you who is now no longer in the same major, or who's no longer in school with you, but there is something that feels like you feel like you've lost something. Something has gone away. Loki. Loki. He wants to come in. Okay. And coming up, here's what's coming up in this decision. This is what you're going to have to contend with. This is the Seven of Wands. And Wands, the sevens, it's about dynamic movement. They are moving you towards a bigger decision. And the Seven of Wands is a card that it has a little bit of adversity in it. Here's a farmer, and he's fighting off, these are wands being raised by others, that the farmer is defending his land and his territory from others. So this being the card that comes up means you might have to defend whatever choice you make. You might have to defend it more than you feel ready to. You may find it tiring. You may feel like you don't deserve this, the fight that you have. Like, for example, if you decide to stop, you may encounter resistance from family or friends. And then this would be you standing up for what you wanted to do instead. Or if you choose to keep going and there are difficulties with the path, it's not, whatever you choose, it's not necessarily going to be easy because school is hard. So if you choose biology, this card says you're probably going to have to fight for your place. And if you choose to stop, whatever's going to this card says whatever you choose, a fight's coming up. Not a huge fight, not a life-ending fight, but you're going to have to back up what you say. You're going to have to mean what you say and not just make snap decisions. Does that make sense? You have to make decisions that you feel are worth fighting for, first of all. If that makes sense. And then underneath it all, what is underneath this question? What is motivating this question? What is happening? And here's the Star again. So here's your Fate card, and this is the one that's underneath it all. The Star card, which, again, is a goddess This card is about finding your true inner self, your true guiding star. And this is the Fate card. So in all of this reading, what this card is telling me is that whatever decision you make about your education doesn't matter as long as you are fighting for the decisions that you make for yourself, and you are following your own true inner guidance. That's the most important thing, is to remember that underneath it all, you are following your own inner guidance, and you have to do what's best for yourself and what will make you blossom as a person and your life. And I hope that makes a little bit of sense. A little bit of sense. All right, let me get back in here. Okay. All right, who's doing what in the chat? Ten of Pentacles. Yes, this is Gryneus. This is an extremely Kabbalah deck. There are, on all the major arcana, are Kabbalah symbols, and it shows you where they correspond. Good eye. Okay, every time I see deer fur, hang on. Every time deer furs, decorations, or head mounts, I'm like, how dare you? Oh, I know. I'm not. My grandfather was a deer hunter. I know. And my sister and I used to pet one of the deer heads that was on his wall in his bedroom. Like, it was so sweet. We'd go in there and we'd pet it because it was so pretty. Sweet little deer. Oh my God, actually already kind of feeling this because I like many things. Yeah, well, you're still young. It's okay not to know. If you're as young as you are, it's okay to still be, you're probably thinking, gosh, everybody else knows what they're doing with their life by now, but that's not true. So go where you feel drawn. Think about where your gifts will best serve the world and yourself, because you still have time. Your education, college is whatever you make of it. You are going to get out of it whatever you're putting into it. And you're a smart person, so I think you're going to be okay. All right, hang on. Ooh, we're getting into some serious topics in the chat. Why would people take horses to auction and send them to slaughter? Michelle, look way back in the chat to understand what we're talking about. Oh, I might have to go back. Oh, Fun Size Equestrian wants to know what the next year will hold. Husband wants to start visa processing to move me to England. I'm feeling all kinds of emotions. I want things to go smoothly and get my pony there too. That's a good question. Okay. Oh, Geek Girl's here. Hey, girl. Hey, we have been busy. That's a great question, Fun Size Equestrian. I really want to do that one. Becca, I don't know if you're still in the chat. If I don't get to Becca's question, I'll get to hers at another time if we have to. But let me do Fun Size Equestrian. I'll do your question. You want to know what's coming up in the next year. You're thinking about moving, and it's a big move. Well, I don't know. It would be a big move for me. You said move to England. I don't know. Maybe you're in like Scotland, and so it's not that far of a move. But for me, moving to England would be huge. So you've got a big move that you are considering. Oh, hey, Rebecca, let me do Fun Size Equestrian, and then even if we're running late, I'll do a question if you've got one, okay? So Becca, think of your question, how you want to ask, and we'll do that one after Fun Size Equestrian. Next year, we'll hold 365 days of light and no light. You're really good at this, even without the cards. Okay, Fun Size Equestrian. We've got big changes that we're thinking about. Big changes. We want to know where we are now. We want to know what all these influences are. And we want to know what's coming up. As with any big decisions, please don't make any kind of snap decisions and be like, whoa, the lady on YouTube with the tarot cards told me to do it. In all of these cases, especially things like a big move, these cards are just to focus your question, to focus your thought process. Human beings have evolved to seek patterns and shapes in things. And so laying out these cards and patterns and thinking about them in relation to our lives can provide insight. So, but that's not something that I provide you. That's something that I'm showing you the card and I'm giving you some information and you feel where that resonates inside yourself. All right, Fun Size Equestrian. Just thinking about a big old move and wondering what in the world is going on. Okay, here we go. Here's you. Right. I mean, of course not right. It's always good to focus to meditate, right? Okay, here we go. Here's you. 4 of Pentacles. That's an interesting one for this question. Okay. And then your influence. Oh, here's the 10 of Cups again. That is your influences. And then coming up, Princess of Cups. That is interesting. Okay. Okay, where you are now, 4 of Pentacles. Now the 4s represent stability, but the negative side of that can be constriction. So this man everything is square in this picture, as you can see. And this man is inside. You can see there's a window to a garden outside. So there are bars on the window. Is he in prison, being kept from the outdoors? Or is he being kept safe from danger outdoors? He has gathered, see, oh my gosh. He's standing on, he's got his feet on his pentacles. He's got his pentacles here on his head. And of course, these represent material possessions and wealth. And as a questioner, wondering whether you should make a change in your life, this card says that you really have to ask yourself, are you trapped or are you being kept safe? So is moving, do you need to protect yourself from a potential move and to protect everything that you've built up? Or do you feel confined by the life that you currently have and you're sitting here wondering if there's more to existence than sitting on a stone block holding your pentacles? Does that make sense? I think that is the nature of your question, is that you're wanting to know, do I hold on to everything I have, or is there more outside? So the influence of that is the 10 of Cups. And again, the 10s are a culmination of a cycle. So this tells me that this question about moving is not something that no one's ever thought of before, not something brand new. It's not something it's something that has been working towards. Like, I don't know if it's your husband's job. This is like a natural progression of his job. Is he getting a promotion? Is he being offered something else within, the company? But is this something that you guys have been working on and working towards? Because this card is saying that there's a lot of good things going on and there's about to be a lot of payoff for things. This is what you expect from moving, is for there to be lots of payoff, maybe a financial windfall in the form of a raise or more job opportunities for you, or just personal goals that you've had for living in another country, perhaps. But this shows that a culmination of many years of experiences is what you're hoping to collect on here. You're hoping to have a big old vase full of cups. And what's coming up is the Princess of Cups. Now, this shows our little mermaid princess. She's a little mermaid and she's holding a pearl and she's got her dolphin friends behind her. And she looks a little bit sad. She's got her little heart by her as well. The princess is a court card, and usually it means someone coming into, it's either a person who enters your life or this is something that you have to embody. So to me, this card is about a new emotional beginning, something new starting in your life. Like whatever choice you make, if you guys decide to move, if you do go to another country, you might feel a little bit raw for a little while. You may feel a little bit lonely and a little bit emotionally isolated. However, the cups are about intense and rich emotional experiences. And this pearl is like the beginning of something that grows into something large and mystical and magical and amazing. So even though this card implies a little bit of loneliness maybe, or a little bit of fear or trepidation about the beginning of an emotional journey, what it says is it's the beginning of an amazing adventure with pearls and dolphins and magical harps and mermaids. It can be a magical, amazing adventure if you open yourself up like a clam that has a little pearl. If you open yourself up to the new emotional experience, it should end up being rewarding to you eventually. So, but that, again, because she's not necessarily the happiest child here, this says that if you do choose it, you may go through a period where you're like, oh no, what did I do? I'm not so sure I'm going to ever find a best friend I'm not sure anything's ever going to be right again, but look at the dolphins playing behind you. Okay, so what's underneath all this that you really should remember? Every once in a while, just remind yourself, oh, right, this is what's at the bottom of all this. That Knight of Swords keeps coming up tonight. The Knight of Swords, maybe this represents your husband. Maybe it represents who you have to be in order to make a decision that benefits you and your family the most. Remember, the Knight of Swords is about making rational and intelligent decisions based on what is best for all parties involved and not necessarily what you personally want. The negative aspects of the swords can be being a little bit cold and emotional. So maybe the Knight of Swords is there to remind you to don't necessarily be cold and emotional, but remember to make good decisions, not just for yourself, but for your horse and for your husband and for all the other people who care about you and love you. It's not necessarily just about a new emotional adventure, and it's not necessarily about reaping the rewards of everything you've been working for, or even getting out of the prison that you're in right now. It's about making calm and rational decisions through all of it. Okay, I feel like that was an interesting reading. A lot of court cards in that. The knight and the princess and the numbers, and having the number cards and the court cards there, but not the major arcana, that tells me your decision to move to England might be more about the people involved in the decision, rather than some fated life event that you have to make a major decision. If you decide wrong, it's going to be no. Whatever you decide, just make sure that you truly are thinking. The decisions are being made in the best interest of all parties. Anyway, I hope that made sense. Hope that helps. I hope that's true. The chat is lit tonight, and I can't even keep up. Because, okay. Oh, will Pepper retire next year and come home to me? Okay, Becca, let me know, Becca, put in the chat right now, do you really want a question about Pepper? Or do you want a question about motherhood, life, the universe, everything? Or Becca, if you weren't here at the beginning, you can do a private question. Like, you can ask me a question and I will just let you know what the cards are saying. And it doesn't have to be something that's discussed in the chat. So it could be like unspoken question. So look up. Oh, on the right path to work. Okay, there we go. Am I on the right path to work with work and son? We want many things this year, but this job 50 hours a week, worth the time away from family. 56 hours a week. Okay, so you have an opportunity to have a job, but it's going to be a lot of hours, and it would mean a lot of time away from the kid. That is a tough question. Am I on the right path with work and son? Okay. For this question, let's focus it down to, are you choosing the job? Is that what you want to say? If you say yes to the job, let's talk about what that's going to look like. Let's do it that way. What does my life look like if I take this job? How is this going to affect my son, my mental and physical health, my life, my relationships, Am I on the right path? Going the way I'm going right now. Where is this headed? All right, Becca. All right, Becca. All right, and this is going to be the last one, y'all. This is going to be the last one, and we're going to pack it up in our bonus live stream. I'm getting tired. Okay, Becca, my darling Becca. Okay, here it is. That one's you. All right. So yeah, I'm at it now. They're offering permanent position and benefits. Oh, Geek Girl, did you want one too? If you want, girl, you know I love you. We'll have to put one more in there. Hang on. Really fun and interesting. All right, I've got Becca's going. And Geek Girl, we can do a question for you after this if you need one. But Becca, here you are. This is where you are as the questioner. This is the 7 of Swords. Okay. Your influences, the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Okay. And what's coming up? Justice. Okay. This is an interesting reading. First of all, the 7 of Swords. This is where you are right now. And if you'll see, it's a person. There are 2 figures back here on the beach. And this person has taken the swords from the beach and is running. He's about to trip over his dang dog. In this picture, he's dropping one. Didn't have time for everything. The 7 of Swords is about motion. Things are building and it's starting to feel frantic. You can't carry all your swords. You're trying to get away from people who are taking your swords. You're about to trip over your dang dog. It's windy on the beach. Everything's going wrong. You don't know your butt from your elbow. This is pretty much, this is the I have no idea what I'm doing card. And not that you don't know what you're doing, but that may be what it feels like some days. That may be just the way you like, no matter what you do, you're like, why is everything blowing up in my face? I don't know. But this is the nature of you as the questioner right now. You are running down the beach trying to save all your swords and everything's falling all over the place and there's weirdos on the beach and you're tripping over stuff. The influences of this question. Am I on the right path? Well, here's the Knight of Wands and he's holding up a big beacon for you. This is either your boss, or another mentor at your job, or these are the qualities that you are being called on to embody in this job. And the Knight of Wands is courageous. The Knight of Wands are all about fire and passion and creativity. This could be either a creative job or just your burning desire to create a life for your family and your son. This is you wanting to lead the way for everybody else in your family, to show them the light, to lead them into battle. Look at this knight. He's ready to lead people into battle. He's ready to go. He's like, come on. He's got the dragon on his cloak. I mean, he's practically Arya Stark, for God's sake. And this is Arya Stark energy right here. And that is what you're being called on to embody in your life. Meanwhile, this is what you feel like. This is whatever you feel like you need to be. And this is what you feel like. So, what's going to come up? What's going on with this? This is justice. Now, justice is the number 11 of the major arcana. The major arcana indicate fated events. Whatever's going on in your life right now, whatever's coming up with this job, it's meant to happen, whether this lasts forever and ever, whether some major event happens, whether it turns out to open new doors for you, whatever is going to happen, this is where you're supposed to be in your life. And justice comes just after a halfway point in a cycle. So whatever you're working on career-wise in your life, you're about halfway through a major cycle in what you need to learn about yourself in terms of your career path. So justice, she holds a scale where she's measuring she's measuring the weight of a man's heart against a feather. And if your heart is not as light as a feather, you get judged. This is the sword of justice. This is the goddess Themis, by the way. And she has peacock feathers all around her, and she holds this sword of justice the sword of justice cuts. It cuts away what is unnecessary. It cuts away what is wrong. And it holds up what has been judged to be fair and right. So this card is about finding what's right in your life, finding that you need to figure out with this job, weigh your heart in this job, use that sword of justice in your job to make sure you are standing up for the rights of your family, for your benefits. Make sure you are being fair and just in all of your relationships at your job. And if you keep in mind this idea of justice, then your heart will be allowed to go through. Does that make sense? If you keep that judgment going for yourself, you will make it through this trial, whatever it leads to on the other side. So my advice from these is to don't panic about losing your swords. Take a deep breath and hold your beacon high, and make sure that justice and fairness is at the forefront of everything that you're doing. Is it fair to me? Is it fair to my son? Is it fair to my partner? Is it fair to my coworkers? Everything that happens in your life, judge this fairness, and whatever happens is going to be okay. All right, let's look at what's underneath. The Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is, it shows the near culmination of a cycle. And she's in a beautiful garden here. This is a lady enjoying pretty much the fruits. She has already sown these seeds, and now she is enjoying the beautiful flowers. So what this card is saying, that no matter what's going on, like, enjoy the benefits of the job. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you're not the only one who gets to enjoy the garden. Everyone else gets to enjoy the garden too. Bastion will get to enjoy the garden that you are cultivating here. Everybody else in your life will as well. And if you remember the whole time that you're being just about everything and asking for fairness, if you remember the whole time underneath it all that you're cultivating a garden for your soul, for your family, that may help you, knowing that there are going to be flowers along the way that you yourself have nurtured. I don't know if that helps. I hope it does. I hope it does. All right, I think it's Geek Girl's turn. Tail cam. Uh-oh, where are we going here? Fairness is only described and found in you and only you. What you believe is fair and what isn't, and what you don't believe is fair. Fairness is an interesting topic for sure. Stop this boy from giving me booty slaps. You guys, what are you doing? What are y'all doing in the chat? Okay, barn tours and barn routines. What should I post on my account? Ooh, helmet cam vids are, okay, now I see where we're going. Show result vids, yes, do that. I don't show, so I like to see that stuff. See if you can videotape your classes that you're doing at shows. I would love to watch those. So I want to post that kind of thing. Elbow cams. That might be, if you keep your elbows in when you ride, it's going to be a boring thing. Okay. Chest cams. I'm catching up in the chat. Hang on. Thank you. I love you. That all made perfect sense. I love you too, Becca. Okay, Geek Girl, will I have a resolution to my health issues before the end of the year? Girl, we could talk a long time. We can do another hour about health issues. All right. We don't have to get into too many personal issues, but we want to see what's coming up. We want to know about Geek Girl's health. All right. Things are happening that are compromising the health of an individual. And we need to know what's coming up. What do we need to focus on? What do we need to think about? What do we need to nourish? What areas need to be cut away? What areas need to be nourished? What needs to be let go of? What needs to be considered? Okay. All right. Okay. Thinking about your health. Thinking about you. Picturing your face. Okay. That's you. Okay. King of Pentacles. We did this one earlier. I don't know if you were here for Zadel's reading, but that's an interesting one. Aha, Eight of Swords. This is an interesting card as an influence. Eight of Swords. Okay, and then what can we expect? What's coming up? Queen of Cups. Okay. Okay. Where are you right now? This is you as the questioner. This is the King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles is a good guy. And it's very Taurus energy. It's very earthy. It's very material things. And this being you as the questioner right now is saying that part of your question is not only wanting to know about your health, but you want to know that all of the other people that you love are going to be okay also. This is more about just you. The King of Pentacles has a very generous energy. He gives a lot. If he has money and someone else needs it, he gives it to them because they need it. And this can end up with everyone else in his life taken care of with him having not much left for himself. Some people, in some tarot readings, the King of Pentacles shows up as a boring lover. So not that you're boring, but what it's saying is the reason I think that's an unfair assessment of the King of Pentacles. The reason he is considered boring is because he's always doing everything for everyone else and not himself. So the good thing is, if the King of Pentacles is your father, which when I do my readings for myself, this is my father. When he's someone in your life that is like a benefactor, you don't have to worry about anything. He's got your back. This is the King of Pentacles has you, is completely 100% loyal all day long. But again, he's all for the other people. So I feel like with your question, this means that you want to make sure this is you wanting everything to be okay. That's all. Okay. I feel like that's where we need to sit with that one. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So very businesslike, very taking care of things. And that could also be how you are approaching your medical issues as well. Not, emotionally involved in it. I'm just going to take care of what needs to be taken care of. I have the means, I have the insurance, I have the whatever. I'm getting it done. This is what's happening. Influences. Eight of Swords. This can indicate how you feel right now. This woman is blindfolded and bound and surrounded by swords. She's in the water. The sun is setting. It's getting darker. So actually a good question for the Eight of Swords is the sun setting or is the sun rising? Take a good look at the bindings on her hands. They're not tied. Her hands themselves, she could reach up and take her own blindfold off. The swords are stuck in the ground and she is not in any actual danger. So what the Eight of Swords is about, the Eight is about kind of a stagnant feeling where you've come so far. This is not the beginning of a cycle. You've come a long way in what you're doing. And you're at a point where you feel like you are blind and you are bound and you are surrounded by sharp things and everything is getting dark. But the Eight of Swords says that it might be possible for you to see your situation a little more clearly if we just breathe and focus. And like, for starters, you could like reach around and very gently feel where all the swords are. This is about triage. Does that make sense? Like finding what's wrong first and fixing that. Fixing that thing that's wrong first. And then once you fix that one thing, you'll be able to see the next thing more clearly that needs to be worked on and fixed. And then you'll be able to see the next thing that, oh, now I can take my blindfold off. Oh, well, now that my blindfold's off, I can see that I can just kick these swords down. Oh, and now I can take the stuff off my legs. But the problem is picking that one thing first. What do you pick first? You feel trapped because there's so many things going on. So what the Eight of Swords is telling you to break out of this stagnation is to maybe find one thread, find one thing to work on, one thing that you can fix, one thing that you can clear away that would maybe help the other things. And that will help you feel like you are grounded and everyone around you is taken care of, and you'll be able to see that the sun is actually rising instead of it getting darker and darker and darker. What's coming up for your health? The Queen of Cups. The cups are the element of emotions, and usually very deep emotions and creativity. So here, she's got her little seahorse beside her. She has her cup. This is like literally the Holy Grail. She's a mermaid, a queen with a crown. She's got very Cancer energy, very motherly energy. The Queen of Cups is very passionate about things around her. She is not so much concerned with material possessions. She's almost the polar opposite of this guy right here. So where you are right now may be a little bit stuck in the mud, but your journey through this, through dealing with your health, is going to take you to a place of deep emotions, but where you will emerge as the queen of those emotions. Like this queen, she's not a little whiny crybaby. She is in charge of her passionate self. She is in charge of her emotional life. She is in charge of her creative endeavors. She rules her kingdom, and she revels in herself and loves herself. And this may be saying that perhaps tapping into that, allowing yourself to feel those emotional parts of this journey. There may be parts of this journey that are too emotional for you to handle, and that you're trying to put aside so that you don't have to deal with them and that you don't have to be that open and vulnerable. But the Queen of Cups is telling you that you will, if you face these vulnerable feelings, it will actually make you stronger and more, to give you a deeper well to pull from in order to deal with these issues. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. I want to look at what is underneath. Hang on. What's on the bottom of this? What's underneath this question? What made you ask this in the first place? What's something that you just need to keep reminding yourself over and over and over again? And it's the Five of Cups. 5 is the middle of a cycle. It's dynamic motion. It's action. So whatever you're going through with your health, you're going through it with some action and some drama. You'll see 3 spilled cups here. And this lady is very upset about her 3 spilled cups. But behind her, underneath this absolutely beautiful magical tree, are 2 golden cups that are still full. And this is a card that sort of reminds you to refocus, because there may be things happening that are upsetting at first or on first glance. Like this happens to me all the time. I may be projecting myself onto here, but like when something really upsetting happens, I will focus so hard on that I'm missing something else that's going on right over my shoulder. And what I need to do is get a hold of myself and not be so sad that I kicked over a cup and be okay with it, because it's just, this is the don't cry over spilled milk card. And that's not intended to trivialize any health problems that you may be having. It's just reminding yourself along this journey is not to let yourself get tripped up by the little things, because it's so easy to do when you're dealing with huge, heavy things. It's so easy to be upset by absolutely everything because you're already on edge like that. So just remember when you kick a cup over, just kick 2 more over and go, whatever, I don't know. So that's what's underneath this, is a gentle reminder not to sweat the small stuff. Of course, make sure it's the small stuff you're not sweating. I mean, anyway. So I hope that helped or made sense. That does, yes. Okay, I honestly wish about my health, because Lord, well, you know, we will have bonus live streams before. If this is fun, maybe we can do it again sometime. This was, again, just a bonus live stream because we had an extra Tuesday in the month, and I've been too sick to do the tour. I was going to do my Savannah tour, and we will do that one, I swear. But I have been way too sick to do that. So I thought, well, tonight I can sit in a corner in my room and do tarot card readings, and I'll be fine. So I hope, thank you everybody for showing up here tonight and for asking questions. I had fun. And recording Servitor, it is so nice to see you again. We have missed you so much. And I don't, who knows, if this is really fun, maybe we should make it like a regular thing. I don't know. Sounding better. I don't know. I've got my fan on here. At one point I hacked up lung here during the live stream. Yes, you could probably talk me into doing this again. All right. I actually researched the history of the Servitor. Aw, love you. I love you too. I'm so glad to see you. All right. Okay, you guys, look, I'm watching myself cough on this live stream on the playback, you guys. Thank you again for showing up, for everybody who came to the chat tonight. And I will see you guys next week. I guess next week's going to be the crafting live stream. And I can't remember what I decided we were going to do, but I'm hoping it'll be fun. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next live.